Today I'm going to talk to you about how to choose the right tire for your car. As a diesel mechanic, we go through a bunch of tires in my work, but the tires that are on a semi wouldn't really be ideal for an everyday car. A semi tire, just for a short story, a semi tire is more built for a inline or highway because they're driving long distances, and usually there's a lot of straight stretches. And so they are harder in the middle, so they wear a lot slower, so they can last anywhere from 100,000 miles, whereas you wouldn't want those on your car because you're constantly turning and weaving. So there's many types of tires you can get. For a car, obviously you wouldn't want to go get big off-road tires because I don't think you're gonna take your car mudding. So for cars, there is many different choices. The most, actually. You have some, so if you live in a dry area that's usually hot, like Texas, you would want a harder tire. Whereas if you live somewhere that rained a lot and was maybe a little colder, you would want a softer tire because the harder tire would actually cause you to lose traction, not gain traction. So you want to, I guess the biggest thing is, where do you live? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. You know, if you're in Michigan, obviously it's going to be colder most of the time. If you're down here in Arkansas, you just don't know any day. And so that's where I would begin. Where do you live? What are the most conditions that you mainly see? Would be the first questions I would ask myself. But if you were going to buy a tire, the reason you would ask yourself that is because when you're going to buy a tire, you wouldn't want a soft tire like a snow tire or ice tire for northern parts of the states to be in Texas, because the softer will actually eat away on the pavement, and instead of getting 50,000 miles out of the tire, you only get like 10,000. So that's all I'm going to say for cars. Trucks, there are many types, but what are you planning to do with the truck? Are you wanting to take it off and roading? Are you wanting to mainly be on the street? Or are you kind of a mix in between, like you got a dirt driveway? Because even something as simple as having a dirt driveway, you wouldn't want a street tire because those rocks get caught in it and they either throw them at your car, which I don't like my paint scratched, or they are easier to pop because tires have what's called a ply on them. And so you would want a thicker tire if you're going to be off-road and gravel, because the rocks wouldn't be able to pierce it as easy. So for trucks, it's the question of what are you going to be doing with it. For every day, just driving back and forth to work, and maybe a light off-road, an all-terrain tire would be best, because the tread depth is supposed to be built for more gravel roads and also for the roads, so they're not loud. Because the more aggressive off-road tire you have, they have more gaps between the tread, more gaps between the tread on the tire, so you get road noise. And if you're doing a lot of driving, road noise can get annoying. So an all-terrain tire would cut down on road noise and is a higher ply, so you'd be able to do off-road or gravel roads and street and not have to worry about it. Now, my personal favorite is ATV and UTV tires, or in layman's terms, four-wheelers and side-by-sides. For those, it's another question of what are you going to be doing with it. Do you like mudding or rock crawling? If you want mudding, you go for a deeper tread depth with more gap between the teeth. Let's see. I guess an easy way to say that was a tractor tire. If anybody's ever seen a tractor tire, which I'm sure most of us have, they have a big gap between their teeth, and they're usually really thick. And that allows it to clear dust and debris out. So if you're mudding, it clears all the mud out, so you actually still have tire left, not just caked in mud, so you're driving on slick before you know it. Then, let's see. Or if you're doing rock crawling, you would want a tire that's stronger that could withstand sharp rocks and also be able to air down, because if you air down, there's more tire touching the ground. And so if you're trying to get up a wall or rock, it grips onto it. And I'm sure y'all seen this rubber band stretch. They kind of do that as it rolls around the rock, and you can get over rocks. I like to do both. In conclusion, we have went over car tires, or some types of car tires, and some of the trucks, and some of the UTVs or toys. The biggest or the main questions you need to ask are, what are you going to be using the vehicle for, and where do you live, and what are the weather conditions where you live or where you'll be going. And most vehicles have 4 tires.